It was about 20 years ago when I visited a ramshackled hut in Uganda. I met with 3 mothers who were working in the local market. I asked them through an interpreter how microcredit had changed their lives. One woman said, "My knees have gone soft." I didn't understand what she meant, so I asked her to explain. She said that before she received the microcredit loan that gave her a chance to go to the market and make a little money, she used to have to crawl on her knees and beg her husband for money to feed the children. But she didn't have to crawl anymore. Her knees had gone soft. It's been said that almost anyone can make something complicated. It takes a genius to make something simple. My friend, Muhammad Yunus, is a genius. His breakthrough theories of microlending shattered the stereotype of the poor. In his world of microbanking, there was a vast collateral that no banker had ever seen. He defied cultural prejudice by giving most of the loans to women in a society where at the time women seldom even touched money or worked outside the home. Over the last 4 decades, microlending has helped tens of millions of people to take the first steps out of grinding poverty. It has turned beggars into business owners. It has fortified families. It has brought dignity and hope, and it has fundamentally changed the way most of the world sees the poor. Not since the miracle of the loaves and fishes has anyone done so much with so little to feed so many.
And Dr. Yunus has transformed the lives of so many across the globe. As Americans in the land of opportunity, it has long been our desire to extend the American dream, to help people achieve their dreams through their own hard work and their own dedication. Dr. Yunus understands that what prevents many underprivileged people from achieving success can be the opportunity to break free from the depths of despair and grow and explore their full potential. And from that understanding grew Grameen Bank, because creating opportunity is the very essence of Grameen Bank. It creates opportunity by providing credit to the poor, opening doors to possibilities that they previously never thought achievable. As we in the U.S. look to use the best practices and improve the efficiencies of our assistance programs to help those in poverty, we'll study the model of Dr. Yunus to establish microcredit enterprise opportunities that can be effective tools to provide real assistance to those in the greatest need.
Over the years, countless men and women have worked hard to reduce the scourge of poverty in the world, because they understand that poverty breeds fear, anxiety, and hopelessness, that it crushes dreams, tramples ambition, and holds societies back. But while we've long agreed on the desirability of the goal, its attainment has remained elusive. Over time, we've made enormous advances. Starting in the West, the rise of free markets and free people helped build a ladder to a better life for many millions of men and women who had only known hardship before. More recently, that freedom has spread throughout the developing world, knocking down government barriers to progress and advancing miracles of prosperity in its wake. Miracles we could hardly have imagined just a few decades ago. Beggars became traveling salesmen. Mothers sold nutrition-packed yogurt to neighbors. and provided phone and telecommunication services to villages that rarely saw either. More than just helping themselves, these budding entrepreneurs helped transform their communities by fighting malnourishment and spreading technologies that helped open their towns and villages to a wider world, and helped bring the wider world to them. With an approximate total loan volume of $25 billion, the microfinance sector that Dr. Yunus inspired serves an estimated 100 million people across the world. One of them is a Haitian woman named Odette. Odette once lived alone and couldn't afford to feed her 3 children. But after taking out small loans from one of Dr. Yunus' partner banks in Haiti, she developed a thriving second-hand mattress business. This allowed her to not only feed her children, not only to move them out of a leaky house, but to acquire properties on her own and rent them out, gaining more hope and confidence than any government program could have ever provided. I used to go around begging, she said. Now people can't understand how I do it. This is the power of microfinance. This is the power of Mohammed Yunus' audacious idea. We may not eliminate poverty tomorrow or next week or over the next decade, but if we're dedicated to the task, if we have the courage to move beyond old ways of thinking, we can come closer than many before us could have dreamed.
Mr. Yunus believes that collateral is a proven willingness to work. Professor Yunus concentrated on the poorest of the poor to just the poor, and mostly women. Credit given to a woman brings about change faster than when it's given to a man. If one member of a family has to starve, you know it would be the mother. They cannot read or write and have rarely been allowed to step out of their homes alone. Poor women. They work harder to lift themselves and their families out of poverty. 5 women can form a banking group. All 5 members have to present themselves to the bank and undergo 7 days of training on policies, demonstrate their understanding of those policies, and then pass an oral examination. Each individual is tested. If one fails, they all have to go back and study some more. What they're looking for are courageous and ambitious pioneers. The first loan is usually about $25 in the 80s. The recipient would be terrified with the huge fear of failure. No woman in her extended family had ever had so much money. Now, when a destitute mother starts earning income, her dreams of success invariably center around her children. I remember Professor Yunus saying that he'd asked a lady what she was going to do with this extra money that she had. And he found out it wasn't going to get a better shelter. It wasn't to get more food. It wasn't to send kids to college. With tears in his eyes, he said it was actually to be able to buy a child back. Can we even imagine that? The whole package, the experiment that grew, is social economics at its best. Successful sense of community that's spreading around the world, thanks to Mohammed Yunus.
Over the past 2 decades, members of Congress have led in a bipartisan way to provide the support and funding for successful micro-enterprise initiatives in developing countries. Working together, we have provided the resources to help move more than 150 million individuals, give them access to financial services and microcredit in the poorest countries of the world. USAID has taken the lead in executing this effort. Together, we have made Mohammed Yunus' simple idea a cornerstone of our comprehensive approach to fighting global poverty, knowing that our efforts to improve health and education are most successful when we foster new businesses and economic growth. For Mohammed Yunus, empowering women and alleviating poverty are essential ingredients to ending conflict and promoting peace. As he has said, peace should be understood in a human way, because peace begins with people, with enabling people to care for themselves and their families and take ownership over their futures. Peace is possible when individuals have the freedom to pursue their dreams when all people have the chance to reach their God-given potential.
Professor Yunus set out to do what may be the biggest thing of all, and that is liberating people to seek a better life. And not just any people, but men and women who had only known misery and only those who had been told that they were no good. And to do all this, he first had to teach himself how to run a bank from scratch. That's when he realized that he had to do the exact opposite of what bankers normally do to make an idea work. Then there was actually getting people to borrow the money, to see the value in themselves, to spark the sense of wonder. Then he had to convince them that they didn't need rank or status to advance themselves in their place in life. Professor Yunus drew up a 5-year expansion plan for his experiment. Of course, his plan succeeded, and millions around the world are better for it. Yes, the idea is the thing, but as the paintings on these walls around us remind us, it's the hard work and sacrifice that separates the doers from the dreamers. And so for Professor Muhammad Yunus, a revolutionary in his own right, the United States Mint has struck a gold medal, which we will present with awe and wonderment. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated for the presentation of the Congressional Gold Medal by members of the United States Congress.